All right, welcome to Australia today. We're going to visit some Australian old vintage postage stamps. Now this one here I find very interesting because of the donkey, but then just look. Look at the two fellas and stuff. It's like they're looking at something. What are they looking at on the horizon? You know, sometimes the expression and everything is just different. Yeah. It's like, what are they looking at? See, there's a story there. Not only is this art, history, but it is a good story. Isn't that cool? Alright, so let's take a look at what else we have here. Alright, now you gotta visit an alligator if you're going to Australia, so here we are, a 2S. The little alligator. Okay, then we have a 3.5D. Telegraph. Very nicely centered stamp, which is what you look for when you're collecting old stamps. Alright. And we have another one here, 1913 to 1963. A 5D. Oops, that one's upside down. Let's turn it around. Can't have nothing upside down here. There we go. That's a 3.5D here. And I messed a few of them up reaching over there. There we go. And right here we have a 3.5D, 1854 to 1954. And we have a 12 cents. Why is he raising? Alright. Rehabilitation stamp. 12 cents. Okay, then we have a 5D. Okay, and that is 1865 to 1931. Very interesting kind of stamp, isn't it? And then we move to the 5D, export. And of course the one I brought you at the very beginning, the 5D, from 1915 to 1965. Then we have a 3D, 1853 to 1953. Australia stamp. Very nice one. And we have a 4D. And we have a 1D. And this is a 2.5D. Victoria's first stamp. 100 years. Look at that background design. See how you can focus in on that? It's kind of funny, it's different. Okay, then we have a 2.5D. we have a 4D, Christmas of 1957. Little girls praying to the stars. Very nice. Then we have a 5D, 1862. Then we have a 1, it's a peacock. I love peacocks, they're so pretty. I love their feathers. Beautiful birds. Okay, then we have a 7C, Australia stamp. Then we have an 11D. Ooh, what kind of animal is that? Almost looks like a rat, but it's got too long of a nose. I wonder what kind of animal. Not a kangaroo. It's not shaped right. Bandycock. Isn't that different? What a cute tail. Interesting. Okay, and some more animals here. Here's a 1/2. Would not want to come across that one in the dark. Teeth look a little too much. Oh, that's just cute. Look at this one. Koala. This is a 4D. So cute. Little koala. Okay, then we have a 2.5D. 1848 to 40. We have a 6C. Wow, look at that. That's interesting. Ah, some ice just fell off the roof. Okay, and we have a 3D. 100 years. 1951. Okay, so I think our interesting one is this one right there, where you just wonder what they're looking at. Looking over the horizon. Interesting. Alright, be sure to sub me as a friend and we'll take you around the world. Who knows where we're going to land on the next video. So, bye-bye Australia. Okay, today we're going to take you to Magar. This one's very pretty, very elegant in design. Nicely architectural building there with the cross on top with the fruits and everything. Very beautifully designed stamp. Alright, let's take you to the rest of the Magar postage stamps that we have here. Okay, right here we have a 120. See the bridge in the background? See the light showing behind them? Very nice. Nice to really stop and look at all the details of a stamp. It's art and it's history. That's why they're so collectible. Okay. Here's a 60F. Just a simple message. Beautiful. Nicely centered stamp. And the birds are right outside, so you probably can hear them. Hear the dove in the house and the bird feeders right outside the window here. So you get to hear it all. Okay, there's this one here. 1945. 9. What a hat, huh? Okay, then we have a 20. Look at the architectural building there. Whew. Imagine how long it took to make that, to build that. Beautiful. All the workers, you know, things were done all by hand back then. It wasn't, you know, used the machinery. It's a lot of manpower behind that. That's what makes these pictures, I mean, so unique in their own way. Because you have to stop and think and put yourself in that time frame and appreciate all the work that was done in the architectural part of building this. Very nice. And look at this. Talk about building. Woo! This is a 30F. Kind of see it has like another seal behind the top of that pillar. Shows something there. Look at that. Very different. So it probably had to be printed. You know, like that's the first layer and then the church on the second layer. Because you can see that. Isn't that interesting? I wonder if that is done by design or done by era. Very different to see that. Hope it wasn't another stamp and then they printed on top of it. It's very different. Alright. Very nicely designed stamp, that's for sure. So if you know something about that, why that's like that, go ahead and leave a comment. Or if you don't know, and you know a stamp collector, a philanthropist, you know, send it to him, ask him. This is normal, this is supposed to be this way? Or is this rare? Be nice to find a nice rare vintage postage stamp. I'd like that, that's for sure. Alright. Very nice. Okay, and then we have a 1848 to 1948. 20F. Here we have a 1FT. Look at the train right over the bridge. And the interesting thing, you know, you can look at a stamp. You're not really totally looking at it. But look underneath the bridge. Look at the antique vehicles in there. Look at that wagon down there. Okay, and then if you look above the train, you can also see a plane flying. You know, so don't just look at it and go, oh, a train crossing the bridge and that's it. Look at the rest of the details that's in it. Love the front of the train, it's really pretty. But there's also a plane and there's a couple of antique vehicles. So that can give you the time frame a little bit. But it's also nice to have that in a postage stamp. It's cool. Allows you to go back in history and look at that. Especially for all the vintage car lovers. And the train lovers. And aviation, of course. Alright. And here we have a 2 See, they got the tanker there and in the back. There you go. Plowing the fields. See how you can see more? Then also above the tanker on the left-hand side, you see the plane flying. They had a lot of little details in designing their stamps, which is really nice. Gives you more to see, more to appreciate. Okay, in 1945, 160. Of course, the one we brought you at the very beginning, 50F. And this one here, it's a 2. Took me a while to find it. There it is. And this one here, a 70. By the water, all the architectural building, probably all mills and stuff, because those always had to be by the water. They need the water to cool machinery down. And then you have your 140. Have a 60F. A 12 filler. A 120 forint. And a 2. I believe that's enough. Okay, so I believe the most interesting one will be this one, only because of that extra seal that's in there. It's in the background, kind of like in the shadows of the architectural church. Alright, so be sure to join me as a friend as we travel around the world with vintage postage stamp. Today we're in Magar. Never know where we're going next, so join me as a friend and we'll travel together. Bye-bye. Today we're visiting Italian. Look at this picture. It says a lot, don't it? 15 lire. So let's show you what else we have from Italian. We have this one here. It's just a 2. And look at this one. It's stamped by the post office 1953. Look at the expression on his face. Isn't that a nice postage stamp? Perfectly centered. Beautiful stamp. Then we have this one here, that's a L25 of the stop signs. Right in a 4-way road here. Then we have this one here. It's a 60. Okay, it's like a globe of the worlds in green and in red, mixing the two colors together. Interesting. Wonder why that made it into a postage stamp. If you know, please leave it in a comment and share with the rest of us. It's always nice to share and it's always nice to learn. Alright, oh, look at this one. Isn't that cute? Little 25. So cute. Okay, and here we have another 25. And we have a 50. Now, we have a 50 and a 25, both of the same picture. The 50 is in brown, the 25 is in green. Very nice. Elegant looking. Great design. Okay, and here we have an L60. 1948 to 1958. Okay, and we have a 6 here. Oh, now look at this. The rocks by the water. That's an L60. And the one I showed you at the beginning that I found extremely interesting. It's nicely centered. Post office marks destroy some of the picture of it. But it's a very nice picture. Okay, and here this gives you an idea of some of the buildings and everything. This is at L20. Nice architectural buildings, and this is pretty. Especially the one right in the center of the stamp. Very nice. Okay, and then we have a couple of small ones. Here is an 8 in green and a 10 in gray of the same picture. Okay, then we have a 10 here. With a scale, so they're weighing the balance of something. Might be the balance of life. And this one in 5. So you have 1 in 10, which is pink, and the 1 in 5, which is blue. Husband and wife holding a baby with the scales in front of them for the balance of life, family life. Okay, then we have a 40. Then here we have the same picture, the torch. One is 20 lire, the other one is 4. Alright, so I hope you've enjoyed your little trip here to Italian. Be sure to sub me and we'll take you to another country on the next video. Hope you've enjoyed my bringing them all, and let us take a trip around the world through vintage postage stamps. So be sure to sub me as we go on somewhere else. Bye bye now. Today we're visiting Argentina and some of their old vintage postage stamps. This one I found very interesting. It's a 1070. Look at that ship. See how the sail is all marked out and everything? That is really cool. Very pretty. See how in the circle up there they have the little envelope? To let you know this is for mail. Kind of neat. That's nice. Very nice stamp. Alright, let's show you what else Argentina has to show us. Now some of their postage stamps, I'll tell you, they're awful big. Look at that. I think it would take too much of the stamp. I mean the envelope. But boy, these stamps are really super big. Here is a 2 peso. Look at that. See how perfectly scented the stamp is. Very nice. Okay, then we have this one here, 1952 it says, and that's a 3. Beautiful lady. That's Eva. Here's another one. And this is a 1 peso. Pretty much in the brown and white color. Look at this one. I mean, look how big this stamp is. That would take 1/3 of the envelope at least, just to put that stamp on. It's a 20C plus 30C. Don't know why they labeled them like that. If you know, leave it in the comment. Share with the rest of us. Just a resting position on a stamp. Interesting, isn't it? Makes you want to know the story behind that stamp, because there's a reason why they ended up on a postage stamp. So the story is very interesting. Alright, oh, look at this one. It's a 150. Wrap up the wheat and carry it. Very interesting. Look at all the details in that, where the hair is just flying by. Big win there. Okay, here we have an airplane here, going up in the sky. It's a 5 peso. Very nice. Okay, and of course the cute little one that I showed you at the very beginning that I thought was interesting. Beautiful little ship. Okay, and then we have this one here for 20 pesos. 1810 to 1960. Look at the architectural building in the picture. Really nice. Okay, and here we have a 2 peso. And this one here, looking at the horizon of the sun, is a 2. And this one here, it's a 5. Look at all the sheep. Kind of in the field in the mountains with all the electrical power lines. Nice herd of sheep, huh? It's always nice to look at the picture and look at all the details that's in the picture. Sometimes people show a stamp and they don't stop enough to give people a chance to look at the details, because that's not only history, it's art. So I take my time to give you a chance to see it all. Okay, what we got? 1810 to 1910. A 3 cent. Oh, that's a pretty nice one. Look at that, you can see all the details in the printing. Okay, and this one here is a 150. Not really sure what this picture is. So if you know, go ahead and leave a comment. Not sure what that's supposed to represent, what it means, and what it is. Okay, then we have the 2, official. And then we have this one here, which is a 1. I like the anchor in the middle of the 2 of them to put them together. Very nice. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed my bringing these to you. Be sure to sub me, join me as a friend, and we'll take you around the world. And today we were in Argentina. Alright, stay tuned for more. Bye-bye. Today we're going to take you to Netherlands. Look at that. Beautiful swan. What a beautiful picture. See how the leaves just pop right out? Beautiful. Alright, let's take you through the rest of them that we have here. Okay, we'll start with this one here. Look at the 2 horses right there. Almost like they're going to charge each other. This is a 5C from the Netherlands. Very nice. It's always nice to see horses one way or another. Okay, then we have this one here. This is 1945, 10 cent. Actually stamped by the post office in 1955. Some of the stamps are more valuable if they have the actual date that they were used stamped right on it. But as a rule in general, they prefer to have stamps that are not stamped, they're not used. Because they look for it to be centered, and they look for good condition. So this is like the pick of the sword or whatever. It's a 10 cent. 1945 design, stamped for 1955 by the post office. Here we have a 1. Kind of a burgundy background. And here we have a 10C. Look at that. Isn't that very interesting, isn't it? What a design on that, huh? That is very nice. Okay, then we move on here to a 15C. And here we have another 15C. 1955. December of 1955. Wow, December and they're at the beach. Jeez, not something you're going to see in Maine here. Okay, and here's a 1C. Now look at this. What an interesting bird. Look at that. The bird with such long feathers. Kind of yellowish. Wow. What an amazing bird. It's a 1C stamp from the Netherlands. Wow. I would really love to see that. It's one thing to see it in picture, but to see it in person, ah, that's special. Okay, and this one here I found very interesting. Look how they designed that. Very nicely designed, architectural kind of view. It's a 3C. Look how they done the leaves, just to make that design beautiful. Okay, and then we have a 5C here. Then a 10C. And we move down to another 10C. Okay, now this one is stamped 1940 to 1945 on it. It's a 2.5 cent stamp from the Netherlands. Beautiful boat in the water. Green water, not blue. It's a green stamp. Interesting. Why would they stamp, the post office stamp at 1940 to 1945? That seems a little different. Okay, and then we have the airplane here. Flying. 1919 KLM to 1959. This is a 12C. Okay, now these are 1898 to 1938. We have the 1.5 cent, and we have the 2 cent. Okay, then the swan that we brought to you earlier at the very beginning, the 2C. Beautiful picture. Love it. Okay, then we have a 10C here. Hard to really look at the picture because of the postal stamping, but it's 1952. Oh, it's 100 year, 1852 to 1952. Okay, and then we have a 2 CT plus 3 of 2 children sitting at the little kids' table doing artwork. Very nice. Okay, we brought that one. Okay, now this one here. Let's see. Oh, there's a 10 there. Hard to find everything with the postal stamping on it. Look at that. Isn't that interesting, huh? Very nice stamp. Alright, I do believe we have them all. Okay, so which is the most interesting? Maybe the bird. Kind of like the bird myself. Alright, be sure to sub me, join me as a friend, and we'll bring you some more old, rare, and vintage postage stamps from around the world. So travel with me. Bye-bye. Today we're going to bring you vintage postage stamps from Germany. Okay, this one here, I usually see it in blue. I've never seen it in red. This is the first one I've come across that's red. So it's a 12. It's a Nazi sign. Alright, now let me take you through the rest that we have in this video. This has quite a few interesting ones here. First we'll start with this guy here. He comes in all different numbers. So we have a 2. We have a 5. We have a 7.5. We have a 10. We have a 15 in brown, a 15 in a deep purple, a 20 in a lighter purple, the 25. Now this one, the paper is different. His lacy around him is red, but he's rather different. The 25 is different. And then the 30. Okay, then we have this guy here, 100. And this is 1494 to 1576. There we go. And we have this one here. It's a 1 1/4 mark. 1922. We have this one. Look at all the details in this one. This is a 6. Look at that. And the picture tells an awful lot. Look at that. Isn't that neat? Wow. It's an old one. Okay, of course, the first one that I brought to you, the Nazi sign in red with 12. Okay, and here we have a 6. It's an eagle, and if you look inside of the eagle, right underneath him, the eagle's on top of a ball that has the Nazi sign on it. This is 1935. Ain't that something? That's an interesting stamp. An eagle over a Nazi sign. Interesting history. Okay, then we have this one here. Different design for a bird, isn't it? Look at all the different lines in it. Bird flying down. Then we have a 60. Then we have a 6. And another 6. This one says 1934. Here we have soar, 12, bird. Okay, now there's another bird here, and he's like shining in the light with a Nazi sign underneath as the base of his soaring up to the sky in red. So far there was 3 Nazi postage stamps in this collection here. Okay, and then we have this one here, a 40. Very curly hair. Here's another 40 for airplane flying in the sky. Okay, now these are both outlined in black. There's a 5 with a green and a 3 in brown. Okay, then we have a 30 here. Now we're getting into the numbers. This one's a 2. This one's also a 2. Here we have a 1/3. Here we have a 3. Can't really see what's embedded in the center of that. If you can, go ahead and leave it in a comment. Okay, and here's a 1. Here we have a 3. And a 2. Alright. So these guys are kind of interesting. Alright. Hope you've enjoyed my bringing these to you. Be sure to sub me, join me as a friend, and we'll bring you some more. Alright. Bye-bye now. Today we're visiting Française. Old postage stamps. I just find this one so beautiful. This is the most interesting one. It's a 2C. Very nicely designed. Shows a lot right there. But let me take you through the rest that we have here. All of these are pretty much the same, only in different denominations as far as this first row. There's a 1. Here we have a 2C. A 4C. A 5C. In red. A 10C in blue, 15C, purple with red picture. So these ones are all pretty much the same. This one's also in a red, the 2C's in red picture with a black, and 1C is also purple, deeper shade of purple. Then we go into this one. There's a 1C on a camel. And we have a 2C here. Look at that. You get to see a little bit of the land. Look at the structure and stuff. See how things were. And of course the one that I showed you at the very beginning that I just love. Just beautiful. A lot of design in that. It's a work of art in a postage stamp. Okay, then this one here, kind of like the other one, only this one's a 4C. And this is like the other camel. That was a 1C, this one's a 2C. Okay, and this here, they're all kind of in the jungle climbing the tree here. This one's a 10 in green. A 5 in brown with a kind of like a purple picture. Also climbing the tree. This one's brown with a kind of like a dark blue or black backing. It's a 4. Also climbing the tree. This picture is in pink with a brown outside frame here, and this is a 2. Also climbing the tree. And this is a purple, the black and white picture, which is a 1, also climbing the tree. Alright, I hope you've enjoyed my bringing these to you. Be sure to sub me, join me as a friend, and we'll bring you some more vintage postage stamps from around the world. Bye-bye now. Today we're going to bring you some old vintage postage stamps from Denmark. This one here, if you notice, is 1788 to 1938. Beautiful stamp, nicely centered. There you go. So let us see some more of the Denmark postage stamp. We have up here, of course, an orange, 10. We have that same design right here in green for 5. And we have this one, a rather interesting one. He's on his horse there, and this is 1912 to 1937. Now look in the background, you can see the vintage bikes on the left side of the picture. You get to see the man on the horse and how they were dressed. And then on the right, you can kind of see a little bit of an automobile from way back then. So, you know, on top of the architect, that's the complete background. There's a lot to see when you look at the vintage postage stamps, because all that background is history. So this is art and history. Alright, 10-cent stamp. Okay, then we have this one that's 30. This one's in orange, Ori. Then you have the same thing, 40, but in green. Okay. Now let's take you to this one. This one's a 40. A little hard to see everything there because the stamping at the post office kind of takes away from the picture there. That's why a lot of collectors prefer those that have not been used. But every now and then, a good old rare one is one that was used because of the date that it's stamped. So, it all depends. You never know. Alright, here is a 15. The date on this one is, let's see what we have, 1536 to 1936. There you can see all the lines in the printing. Okay, then right here we have a 10. And this one here's a 15, 1835 to 1935. Okay, now this one says 1920. Look at that. Beautiful architect. Beautiful building. Look at that. It's 1920. That's how things used to be. Okay, then we have this one here, which is a 1930. 5 cent. Then we have a 15, Porto. And we have a 10. 1870 to 1930. Okay, 1835. And can't quite make out, but it's the year of the mermaids. Sure looks like a mermaid, don't it? Or is there just a fish in front of the man? You decide by looking at this picture and leave me a comment. It's a little hard to see the exact detail because of the stamping at the post office. But it looks like half a man and then you see the fish. So leave a comment on what you think. Okay, and here we have a beautiful swan, 1835 to 1935, a 5-oar. Swan in the green waters. Definitely not blue. Okay, and there's the 1870 to 1930. The 15. And we have a 30, and this is a 1835 to 1935. 30 Denmark postage stamp. Okay, and then we go down here to a 5. These are all Denmark. Okay, then the one we started with at the very beginning, that was a 15-oar from 1788 to 1938. Beautiful monument. Okay, and then this one here for a 50. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed my bringing these to you. Be sure to sub me, join me as a friend, and we'll bring you some more rare and vintage postage stamps from around the world. Today we're in Denmark. Bye-bye. Today we're going to show you some old vintage postage stamps from the USA. So this one here is a stamp of stamped. It's like stamped on. From 1732 to 1932, a 2-cent one. Mount Vernon. Look at that. Alright, let's show you what else we have here. Okay, first we have this one here. It's a 3-cent stamp. Just basically the water flowing down, huh? And it says, let me see, the Border Dam of 1935. There you go. Alright. 3-cent stamp. Okay, then we have another 3-cent stamp right there. Another 3-cent stamp here. Brooklyn. He saves his army at Brooklyn. Washington saves his army. 3-cent stamp. Let's see, we have 1776 to 1951. Look at that. On the top of the mountain with his horse. Alright. And here, this is 125 years celebration of the rail transportation. Started in 1827. 3-cent stamp. Look how the front of the trains used to be, huh? Amazing. Okay, and here we have a 3 cents, 1902 to 1952. Reclamation. Okay, now we take you down right here. Now look at that. 3 cents, but in that corner, it's different. Luther Burbank. 3-cent stamp. Look how beautifully centered that is. Isn't that a beautiful stamp? The color combination is nice. Okay, and then we have Long Island's Upside Down City, New York. It's 13 cents, I think. Not totally sure there. Okay, now this 3-cent stamp, usually we find it in green. It's a little bit different to see it in purple. I do believe those statue pillars are a little different too. So that was different. A Jackson 3-cent stamp in purple. Okay, now this one is a bank check. A 2-cent stamp. Orange in color. U.S. Interact. Bank check. 2 cents. What a different postage stamp. If you know a little bit more about this one, please leave a comment in the comment section. I'd like to know a little bit more as to why it was titled this way. And of course to find it in orange too. Okay, then we have a 5 eighths. 5 eighths. A 5 eighths. 5 eighths of a cent. How on earth do you do that? Proprietary. 5 eighths. Guess you can divide a penny up any way you want, huh? 5 cents. Very interesting one. Okay. Then we have a special delivery in orange, which is a 15 cents. We've seen it in many other colors, but this one here is in orange. Always nice to see the old bikes, huh? Vintage bikes on a postage stamp. They're showing us extra history. Okay, then here are the 4 cents. Come out one side. Here we have a 3 cents. 100 years of progress. 1848 of women to 1948. And we have 3 women there. Okay, 3 cent stamp here. 1701 to 1951. Look at the canoes in there in the picture. and how they used to dress and everything going into battle. Nice to really stop and look at a stamp. Look at all the details in one. Okay, now this, I don't know. Official sealed U.S. of America. Post Office Department. This is a really different one. It's on white paper. In one of my other videos on my other YouTube channel, we had one that was blue. This is the same, but it's in white. Okay, and we have this one here, 500th. $3 stamp, 1452 to 1952. And this one here, American Bar Association, 1878, Liberty under Law to 1953. And the one I showed you at the very beginning here, the 2 cents stamped on, Washington, 1732 to 1932. And we have the 15-cent U.S. Airmail with the Statue of Liberty on it. Okay, and there's a 3 cents, 1648 to 1948, 300th anniversary of volunteer firemen. See the vintage old fire trucks down there? Unselfish public service, courage and duty. Very nice. Alright, I hope you've enjoyed my bringing these to you. Stay tuned and we'll bring you some more rare and vintage postage stamps from around the world. Bye-bye now.